Good evening. My name is Dr. William Jordan. A few years ago, I invented an artificial life form. And then I developed the technology to create more artificial life forms. They are human in every way. They can feel, they can react, they can think, they can do math, they can do cartwheels, they can do somersaults. The only thing they don't have is a valid personality. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you will help me out with. I am going to put you through a psychological exam. Now, don't worry. The data collected from tonight's psychological exam will not be used to analyze you. No. This data will only be used to be programmed into my artificial life forms. They will then develop personalities of their own. These personalities will then be put to a test. One by one, we will eliminate each of these personalities until eventually one remains. And that one remaining personality will win the ultimate prize of being deemed a real human being. That's right, the first artificial life form deemed human. I'm excited. But first, the psychological exam. I have a series of Rorschach cards, and what I would like you to do in the chat below or beside, I would like you to write the words and the feelings and the memories that these images remind you of. We'll start with this simple one. In the chat, please tell us the first word that comes to your mind when you see this image. Very good. Once again, this information will be entered into our artificial life forms. What does this remind you of? Does it make you think of a place or a memory? What does it look like to you? Next card. What does this look like to you? What memory does it stir up in your subconscious? What are you currently imagining this picture is? Very well. Very good. Very good. I'm starting to see the results. This might seem dark to you, or it might seem uplifting. Tell me what it looks like to you. Thank you. Next. Does this stir up the idea of violence? Does this stir up the idea of a celebration? What event does this make you think of? Thank you. And then finally, how would you describe this picture? What feeling does it make you feel? What place does it remind you of? What word is conjured up at the top of your mind as you look at this image? Very good. We have a number of suggestions. I will be entering these suggestions into our artificial life forms. I will be asking them questions, and then every once in a while, they might shut down because their profile matrix does not have the word for what they are looking for. I will fill in the word with your suggestions, and then we will watch their personality bloom. So let's start, shall we? Let's start with subject 001. Subject 001, could you please come online? Yes, subject 001. Pleasure to meet you. Subject 001. I'd like to play a game of word association.
All
All
right.
I want you to do is say the first word that comes to your mind when I say bison.
Herd.
Mm. Grass.
Green.
Very practical, very practical. Have you seen grass before?
Of course. Who has not seen grass?
Many people have not seen grass. Where did you see grass?
I saw grass outside in my backyard.
In your
I tend to it
backyard?
often.
How old were you when you have this memory?
My first memory of grass started when I was 5 years old. My mom would go back there with me and force me to pick out all the weeds for her.
Your mother forced you to pick out weeds?
Yes.
What would happen if you didn't pick the weeds?
Well, I would get spanked now, wouldn't I?
Really? Corporal punishment for not picking weeds. Was there ever a moment when you didn't pick all the weeds?
Well, sometimes I would decide to be a bit naughty and I would pick the weeds, but I'd plant them right back into the dirt so that they grow up even taller.
My goodness. And what did your mother do when they grew taller?
Well, my mother said,
Paisley.
Paisley, you get your butt right out here and you pick out weeds until it's time for supper.
Your mother had an accent.
Yes. She's from Europe somewhere.
Your mother was from Europe? Was your father from Europe?
No, she came over when she was a teenager and she met my father here in Canada. And then they fell in love and had me, and then I picked weeds for them forever.
My goodness, you seem to have a bit of a bitter relationship with your parents.
Well, I mean, I still take care of them to this day, you know. They live upstairs in my attic, and I see them every morning, noon, and night.
Where do you live now as an adult?
As an adult, I live on Floor Street. I live in a 2-story house. The attic is up there, but I don't go up there much, really, unless it's to feed my parents.
Your parents live in the attic?
Yes. They're
Do they
bound
ever
to
come
bed.
out of the attic?
Well, they can't walk. They're bound to the bed, but I'm an excellent caregiver.
Ah, I see. You don't bind them to the bed. They are currently bedridden.
Oh, goodness. Of course, they're not bound by ropes to the bed, all right?
I would just like to make that perfectly clear, that you do not hold any violent feelings towards your parents.
Dr. William Jordan, do you consider yourself a jokester?
A jokester? No, I'm not. I'm not one to find violence very funny, no. But I do like a good Mr. Bean sketch.
Well, I find Mr. Bean quite ridiculous, all right? I'll hear no more of it.
Very well. What do you find interesting? What entertains you?
I find antique clocks interesting. I take them apart piece by piece and precisely put them back, each one, until they ring like the sunshine in the moonlight.
My goodness, is this your career path or merely a hobby?
Well, I've received as much inheritance from my parents as one could possibly, and so I've spent my life fine-tuning the art of clock rearranging.
Did this come from your European background? I mean, your mother perhaps knew a clockmaker or worked with clocks in the past?
No. Everything I've done, I've built myself, besides my inheritance, all right? It's something I don't like to bring up much because it seems to bring me down a peg or two. But everything else about me is strictly about clocks and about precision.
Well, now I find you quite charming. I don't find anything rude or obnoxious about you at all. I apologize if you get that impression, but I'm enjoying our conversation right now.
I don't believe I insinuated that you thought I was rude. I don't see why you brought that up.
I just wanted to see how you react to somebody telling you you're rude.
Well, I have built a life out of remaining calm, and you are not going to break me.
Well, I don't wish to break you. I merely just wish to get to know you a little better. May I ask you one question?
You may.
What is your full name?
My name is Patricia Hertzinger, also known as Paisley by my mother and only by my mother.
Paisley. So I may not call you Paisley.
You may not. Patricia will do just fine.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like you to shut down. Well, that was Patricia. We will not refer to her as Paisley unless we wish to trigger an anger response, which I don't want to do yet, but it might please me to watch her get angry with another one of our subjects. Let's get to know another subject, shall we? Subject 002, will you please come online? Pleasure to meet you, subject 002.
Hello.
Subject 002, I'd like to start with a simple game of word association. When I say fire, what do you think of?
Extinguish.
Extinguish. You wish to put out the fire.
That seems like the sensible thing to do when one encounters a fire.
Now, what if another word is cow?
Eat.
But you wish to extinguish the life of a cow in order to nourish yourself.
Well, yes, there's a difference between taking away something that, like a fire, which is consuming, and being a consumer of an item such as a cow.
Yes. Have you ever put out a fire?
Yes, when I was a teenager, I was behind our local
luchador arena.
Luchador arena, and one of the bulls had knocked over a lantern, and that, of course, being a matador, but we had a combined luchador matador facility. We came from a small Texas town.
A combined luchador and matador? Is that where
yes.
Is that how you come to know so much about cows and bovine?
Yes, and wrestling.
Have you ever wrestled a steer?
Well, that was one of the events. I used to assist in it, and then eventually I did work my way up to a steer wrestler. But ours is not like a traditional rodeo. We would actually don luchador wear and physically wrestle a steer.
Of course, of course. What would you wear? What was your luchador attire?
Predominantly, it was the luchador mask, a cowboy hat, and tights.
Tights. Were there any specific pattern to the tights, or did they look like anything, or just a color?
My tights in particular were
tuxedo print.
Tuxedo print. For not just being a luchador wrestler / bullfighter, I would also host these events and be an MC.
So you're a showman.
That's correct, sir.
Well then, what would be, if you were to host a luchador match, how would you start and warm up the crowd?
Well, normally we would have we would start with there'd be a clown act that would come out and warm up the crowd by running about the arena. We would let the bulls and luchadors loose, and they would all gang up on the clown.
Oh.
And then I would come in and be, break it up, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our clown tonight. And our clown was usually someone in the village who'd done something wrong. It was a form of punishment.
A punishment to be the
Yes.
clown.
That's right.
Have you ever personally known one of the clowns?
Oh, yes. Several of them, childhood friends I grew up with, people that I had dated at the time. Yeah, several.
Did you ever feel guilty about the things that they were being put through?
No, because at any given time, if you did something wrong and crossed the line, you could become the clown.
Now, have you ever been a clown?
I've been the clown. There was nights where I had done something wrong, and it was my turn to be pursued by the bulls and the luchadors.
Tell me the story of the thing that you did wrong that led you to be punished, to be a clown.
Well, I was about 19 years old, and me and my friend Barney had just left the...
This one keeps shutting down. I shall fill in your blank. You left the uterus. Yes.
Just left the uterus, which is the name of the local town bar, was the Uterus Club. And we just left the uterus, and we realized that we had no cab fare to get home. And we stole a bull and rode the bull home.
My goodness. What an adventurous young lad you were.
Yes, it's true.
You sound like a delightful person, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better in our competition. But I have one final question for you.
Yes.
What is your full name?
My full name is Stefan Johansson.
Stefan Johansson. Do you have a luchador name?
Steve Joe.
Steve Joe. Okay, so not very hard to figure out who you are.
No,
well, thank you very much, Stefan Johansson. I look forward to getting to know you in the coming competition.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to ask you now to shut down. Very good. You see how the personality just drains from the face the moment I tell them to shut down. It's quite impressive, isn't it? I'm pretty proud of myself. Subject 003. I'm now going to ask you to come online. Subject 003. Greetings and salutations.
Hello.
Subject 003. Could you please play a game with me?
Yes.
It's a simple game of word association. What is the first word that comes to your mind when I say lobster?
Red.
Red. A red lobster. Now, you understand that lobsters are only red when they've been cooked.
That is correct. Before they are cooked, they are blue, like their blood.
Yes, that's correct. And have you ever cooked a lobster?
Oh no, I would never extinguish a lobster's life like that. No, they are alive when they die.
So you hold life quite valuable.
I do, yes.
Well, I am very happy to know that you value life. Are you a vegetarian?
Yes, I am a vegetarian, although I do eat eggs that are unfertilized.
Ah, very well, very well. Could you tell me, what do you do for a living?
Well, I sell unfertilized eggs for people to eat to get extra protein in their diet.
Very clever, very clever. Selling unfertilized eggs is quite a rare endeavor. And you know what? I sense that it was something that came out of necessity for you.
Yes, for I was lost for 3 years in the forest. And luckily, there were chickens nearby to keep me alive with protein and also all manner of mushrooms and nuts and berries.
My goodness. Lost in the forest with only chickens for companions. Did you learn to speak to chickens?
Yes, I did.
Ah. And what did the chickens tell you about yourself?
For instance, they told me I had a very nice
Double axe.
double axe, which I would use to chop the trees to make them little chicken nooks.
My goodness. What did you live in if the chickens lived in such a nice place? Did you have something to live in?
Well, I didn't want to cut down too many trees because that would be extinguishing more lives. So I gathered the branches from the trees I cut down from them and I wove them together to make a sort of dome.
Oh, my goodness. And obviously you had to make clothing out of these trees as well.
Yes, I gathered the bark and moss from the forest floor to make my pants and also my shirts.
Okay. Now you don't live in the forest anymore. You've since been liberated.
Yes, I have been liberated. Currently, I reside in a
Something to live in, something to live in. You currently live in a lavender field.
lavender field.
Wow. Is it relaxing?
It is very relaxing and very fragrant. For you see,
What
the
type of
aroma
shelter do you live in?
well, I have taken some neighboring fabric, some tulle from a fabric factory beside the lavender field, and I've made an archway between the lavender rows, which I snugly live inside.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you have any friends that live with you in the lavender field?
None that live, but many that visit. I am friend to all animals, as well as the lavender farmer, and his name is Jean-Luc Watson.
Jean-Luc Watson. Now, do you have a personal relationship with Jean-Luc Watson?
Well, we are very sweet on each other. However, we have not officially gone on a date. However, he makes me lemonade.
What would be your ideal first date with Jean-Luc?
My ideal first date would be for him to take me to the city to see the
To see the hang on, let's see here. Lots of great suggestions. To see the chicken thighs.
chicken thighs, to see if it's true that factory farm chickens are very much bigger than naturally grown chickens.
And this is something that you're quite curious about.
Yes.
And you wouldn't find it at all offensive that he would take you to look at these essentially deceased chickens.
Well, in order to change the world, you must first know the world.
Very wise. I am getting the idea that you are a very wise individual.
Thank you. I think you are wise as well.
Why, thank you. One last thing. Do you have a full name?
Yes, my name is Marie Dubois.
Marie Dubois. That's French, isn't it?
It is. That is where lavender grows.
Well, Marie Dubois, I've had an absolute pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to getting to know you in the upcoming competition. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to ask you to shut down. Marie Dubois has now shut down, and we will be uploading her personality into the database. But we have one final contestant. This contestant is patient 004. Please come online, subject 004. Greetings and salutations.
Good evening.
And do you like games?
Of course. Who does not?
Well, I don't know many people that don't like games, but I'm glad to see you're on board. I'd like to play a simple game of word association. What is the first word that comes to mind when I say scorpion?
Sting.
A sting. Scorpions do sting, but they're also venomous.
Yes.
Have you
Their sting is
have you
extremely
ever
venomous.
been stung
Oh, many times.
by a scorpion?
By many scorpions simultaneously.
Many times. My goodness, this sounds like quite a story.
Well, it's the story of my life as a scorpion farmer.
A scorpion farmer.
Oh yeah, out in the scorpion fields. You know, it just gets stingy out there.
I have to ask, why do you farm scorpions?
Oh, the venom can be distilled into a concoction that can be drank, and it's very, very valuable.
What value does it have? I mean, what does it do?
I mean, I live in a mansion on my farm. It's just worth a lot of money, basically.
Okay, does it make me live longer? Does it make my blood pressure regulate? What does the venom do?
It makes you very, very, very drunk.
Ah.
There's naturally occurring alcohol in the venom, and by distilling it, you bring it out, and it's far more potent than regular alcohol.
Do people get addicted to this?
Oh, of course. That's what makes it most expensive.
So, in a way, you're a very rich drug dealer.
I mean, is there such thing as a poor drug dealer? But yes,
Yes.
the main
there
tool
are.
I use to extract the venom is
To extract the venom is beautiful.
beautiful, because really it takes a lot of hard work and talent, and I use my own bare hands to extract the venom. It's sort of a motion like this. You know, if the tail and the stinger's here, you got to kind of curve it out. But is it worth all the various numerous scars on my body? Absolutely.
You would need to soothe the scorpions, wouldn't you?
Oh yes, I have speakers in the scorpion fields, that play calming music. I spent years studying what music would calm them the most.
Oh, what kind of music calms a scorpion?
The type of music that calms them is...
Oh no. The type of music that calms them is clown
jazz.
Clown jazz.
Yes. You
Could
know,
you
scorpions are
describe
highly
clown jazz a
intelligent.
little
Not
bit?
a lot of people know this, but the clown jazz really gets them, it engages their brains. And the faster their brains work, the faster their metabolism works, therefore producing a higher quality and larger amount of venom.
Wow. Who makes the clown jazz?
Well, the clowns, of course. Who else
The
would
clowns.
make it?
Which clowns?
Now, that is not a secret I'm going to reveal to you just yet.
Okay.
They look to remain anonymous.
I think I know of a few clowns, or at least some
Well,
people who have done wrong in their life.
Perhaps
And I
they've made
believe
some
they make
jazz that I
beautiful
play in my
music.
fields.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a little bit turned off by the fact that you seem to be benefiting so much from other people's addiction. Has anyone ever accused you of being evil?
Well, the thing is, with the addiction properties, it's not like if you stop, it hurts you. There's no withdrawal effects. They simply go into a deep depression because they miss the taste of it. So nothing really physically harmful at all. So I have my conscience is clear.
It sounds to me like you're telling yourself a truth that just helps yourself feel better.
I mean,
But
that's one way to look at it, sure.
in actuality, being depressed is a terrible thing.
I
Have you
suppose
ever
one could
been
think that.
depressed?
Excuse me?
Have you ever been depressed?
Well, not since I made my scorpion fields and I have a sip of scorpion venom every single morning and night.
Ah, there, you've buried the lead. What did you do before you were a scorpion farmer?
Well, exotic farming is a bit of a... You have to find your own path. And before I tried to hunt and cultivate scorpions, I had a time hunting
Poodles.
poodles. And that was a little more
Hunting
controversial,
poodles?
so that's why I stopped.
I'm sorry, I missed that. You stopped because of what?
Oh, it's controversial
It's very
to
controversial.
raise poodles for their poodle wool.
Oh, for wool.
For wool.
Oh, you just shave a poodle.
You shave a poodle and you can make it into the most fantastic wigs. I'm wearing one right now.
That's a wig?
It's a wig made of
That's
poodles.
It's
I mean, their
very
hair, not poodles themselves. No.
No,
Goodness, no.
that's a very convincing.
That
So
we can't
none
have
of the
that.
poodles-
That never happened. Nope.
None of the poodles were harmed then, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, we just clipped their hair, but people thought that keeping them in captivity just for that purpose was a little weird, and I agreed. People seem to, scorpions are scary. People don't seem to like them, so it's a lot more acceptable to turn them into, my factories for my delicious...
I would feel
scorpion
very
venom.
threatened if you had free-range scorpions.
Oh, yes.
I feel safer knowing that they're in an enclosed environment.
Exactly. Public perception
Could
is
you
key,
tell me a quick story?
A story.
I would like you to tell me a quick story about poodle farming.
Poodle farming. When I was a boy, I had a poodle growing up. His name was William, much like yours. Exactly like yours, actually. And
Was
what
he a
William would
doctor?
do is he would jump around the backyard, and unlike normal poodles, he would actually shed. So he would leave his fur about in the yard, in the home, wherever he went. And I noticed when I tried to pick it up, it didn't feel like anything. It was so soft. And I thought that it might have some incredible properties. So what I would do is I would play with it in my room. I would line my walls with it to test its sound insulation. I would stuff my pillow with it to test its sleep effects. And, until the wig thing, it never really caught on. So I wasted a lot of my life doing that, I think.
Similarly, could you tell us a brief story about the first time you drank scorpion venom?
Why, yes. It's the story of how I came to be such a successful scorpion farmer, after all.
Of course.
I was on a backpacking trip. And I was in Asia, and wherever I was in a place with many scorpions, and one stung me, and it hurt quite a lot. They tend to hurt. I've gotten used to them now, but back then it was new to me. And it would swell, and it was leaking, and initially when he first stung me, I kind of, you put your hand on it, you put pressure on it, and I came to smell the venom from my hand, and I thought, well, that doesn't smell what I thought it would smell like. It's very sweet. It's pungent, but it's got a flavor profile to it. So what do I do but lick it, of course? And the rest is history.
Well,
I brought
it's been an
6 more
absolute
scorpions
pleasure
home with
getting
me,
to
and now
know
I
you,
have
Subject
10,000.
004. Oh, I can't be calling you that anymore. Subject 004, what is your name?
My name is Tiberius Scorpus.
Tiberius Scorpus. Is that your birth name?
One of them is. I'll
I'm
let you
guessing
guess.
that you've adopted Scorpus. Before, was it Poodleus? Or
Yes, for a
Puda?
time.
Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming competition. But
Very
I'm
well,
afraid
thank
right now I'm going to have to ask you to shut down.
you.
Well, we've got 4 new life forms with 4 well-placed personalities. I think they're quite well developed at this point. I'm looking forward to having them compete. I am now going to upload them into the server, and then in this next portion of the show, we will have them compete in 4 different challenges. Each challenge, we will eliminate one player until one player remains, and that one player will live the rest of their life as a human being, given full rights to live as a human among us. Isn't that exciting? I'm very excited, but mostly I'm excited to delete the other characters. I do enjoy the idea of murdering without any form of replication. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to take a brief intermission as we upload these characters into the server. Bear with us for the next few moments. In the meantime, enjoy this beautiful music that I've created for you. We'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes. Thank you. Tune in a bit. All right, welcome back to the second half of the show. All right, I've taken off my scientist cap and put on my show hosting bow tie, and it's time to get started with the second half. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 artificial life forms competing for the opportunity to be a real, live human being. I'm excited. Now, one by one, each of these characters will be deleted based on your opinions. You get to vote who your favorite is and who is your least favorite. And the player with the lowest ranking potential will be deleted, placed in the recycle bin, and never seen again. And then the player remaining at the end will live the rest of their life as a fully fledged human being. I'm excited. Are you excited? This could not be any more exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on our competitors. Please welcome to the stage our first competitor, Patricia. Patricia, welcome. And if you wouldn't mind telling everyone why you think you will win and why you have to be a real human being.
Well, I believe that I should win because I am a very meticulous human being and I have very interesting interests.
Well, you are very interesting indeed, Patricia. Patricia, I'm going to introduce each guest one at a time, so you may return to the green room for a brief moment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our second competitor, Stefan Johansson. Welcome, Stefan Johansson.
Partner!
Yeehaw, partner. Welcome and salutations. Stefan, why do you want to win tonight's competition? Why do you need to be a human being?
Because I'm ready to grab the life by the horns and take that ride.
Stefan Johansson, I love you, and I think people are going to love you too. Stefan Johansson, please return to the green room for a brief moment.
I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our third competitor, Marie Dubois. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Comment
allez-vous? Bonjour. Bonsoir, mes amis.
Oui, oui, oui.
Marie Dubois, why would you like to win tonight's competition?
Oh, for I love all the little animals of the world, and I think that I can get them to go all along and get all along, and the world would be a better place for me being in it.
Absolutely. I'd be very curious to meet an actual human being who can talk to animals. Thank you very much, Marie Dubois. We look forward to seeing you compete. Now,
au revoir.
Au revoir. Please welcome our final contestant, Tiberius Scorpus. Tiberius.
Well, good evening.
Good
pleasure
evening,
to see you again.
Tiberius. Tiberius, could you tell us why you have to win tonight's competition?
Well, of course, Dr. Jordan. As a man of experience, I have provided a lot of gifts to the world, at least in my own head, and I think I could spread it even further.
Oh, could you now? Well, we'll see. We'll see how well people like you. Because if people don't like you, you will be deleted.
We'll see about that.
Let's welcome all of our contestants back. Everybody enter the room. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. welcome, greetings and salutations to you all.
Howdy, y'all.
Well, howdy. Now, my friends, tonight we are going to be competing for the right to be a human being. Those of you who do not win the popular vote of our viewing audience will be deleted. Does that scare anyone?
Of course not.
I am very popular.
I just figured whatever's gonna happen's gonna happen.
I win everything that I enter.
Oh, very confident. Everyone seems very confident and not afraid of death at all. So that's exciting. That's very exciting to me. Now, I would like to start tonight with a simple challenge. Do you all have a pen and paper?
Always.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Good. I would like you to draw a self-portrait. But before you do, I'm only going to give you 30 seconds and significantly less if I find this boring. Your pen may never leave the paper, and you must never look at your paper. Look, make direct eye contact with me for the entire drawing. Ready? You have 30 seconds, beginning now. No blinking. You're no looking, Tiberius. Marie, your makeup looks lovely.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I love the hat, Stefan. And Patricia, is that an ascot or a bow tie?
Ascot.
Very charming. Your 30 seconds are up. Put your pens down and let's have a look at our drawings. Tiberius Scorpus, we'll begin with you. Please show us what you have drawn.
This isn't quite what I expected, but here we are.
Oh, what? Okay, now remember, viewing audience, I would like you to rate this on a scale from 1 to 4, 4 being terrible, 1 being amazing. What do you think of this drawing, which seems to be of, I'm looking at shoulders and a head, I think, and I see glasses. But I also think I see you wearing a sash. Are you wearing a sash?
So what you see as a sash was actually me trying to draw a scorpion tail to put on my shirt, which I thought would be cool, but it did not end up being very cool. But
it would have been cool if it looked like a scorpion tail, but instead it looks like a Girl Guide sash, and maybe you get a badge for this. I don't know. We'll see how the people rate you. Now,
well, I'd be fine with a
Patricia.
Girl Guide badge, personally.
Patricia, could you please show us your drawing?
Yes.
Let's see here. Now it's a bit of a challenge here with your, yes, there we go. Just bend the light a little bit more. This is a challenge. Yes. There, I see your face. I see your glasses. I think I see you grimacing. Is that a grimace on your face or a smile?
Yes, I did a very good job of conveying my serious nature.
It's a very serious portrait, and your glasses are so big.
Yes, just the way that I like them.
And your ascot, did you draw your ascot?
Yes, it's right here.
It's a very good ascot.
I always wear an ascot.
You always wear an ascot.
Always.
Well, I appreciate a person who's interested in fashion. All right, Patricia. We'll see how people rate you. How do you think you rated? You think was that a 3 or a 0 or an okay? That's a 4. No. You want a 1. That's what you want. You want a 1.
I have drawn the best picture.
I'm sure you have. Now, Stefan Johansson, please show us your drawing.
Well, all right, I can see if I can.
I see it. Your head is huge and your hat is tiny.
It's hard to find a hat that'll fit on such a large melon. I've always had a huge coconut.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. Just out of curiosity, what you're wearing right now, is that a collar behind your neck?
Well, this is part of my luchador outfit. I thought I'd leave the mask off because of clarity of communication.
Thank
But
you.
this is
Very
my
kind of you.
my luchador gown for formal occasions, and of course, because we're wrestling bulls, my hat.
Absolutely. Now, one last look at your drawing.
Oh yes,
It
and I can
looks
get
to
that
me
guy
as
up
though
there.
you're
Oh,
wearing an eye patch. Do you wear an eye patch?
that's unintentional, but it may be prophetic because one of my eyes has been bothering me lately, and I'm thinking about having it out.
And do you have a cleft palate?
No, sir, I do not. That was reflecting of an earlier mustache I had. That was just one very narrow strip of hair. But
Well,
then people, when it grew out, they thought, "Hey, that's not appropriate." And
no,
then I
I'm sure glad
realized,
you don't have that mustache anymore.
yeah, I got rid of that right away. You know, Charlie
Now-
Chaplin brought that in, and that was all okay with him. But then that darn German came along, and now nobody gets one of them no more.
Stefan, how do you think you rated today?
Oh, I think I did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of this picture. I'm really impressed with everything that I've seen so far from my fellow contestants, and I kind of want, hey, Tiberius, maybe later you can hook me up with some of that scorpion juice.
Oh, perhaps. You know I can.
Now, Marie Dubois,
Mais oui,
did you manage to fit all of your hair into your gorgeous painting?
bien sûr.
Let's see. Yes. Oh, yes. I see you. You're holding flowers.
Oui, oui, lavender, of course.
Ah, and your hair is connected to your flowers, or is that a bee?
No, for that is the heart, for it signifies all the love I have for the animals.
Wow, that is beautiful. You managed to convey emotion in your drawing.
Oui, oui. We are very emotional as French people.
Yes, I'm sure you are. I'm just trying. Could you hold it a little closer to the camera
Oui, oui.
so that I can get a good look at your facial expression, which does seem to have a smile but angry eyebrows?
Oh, for I could never be angry. I am very sorry. Je suis désolé.
Very well. I mean, I just tells it like I sees it. And over to the side, are you in your other hand, or is that just your shoulder? Is this a bust?
No, it is the chicken. For I have my little chickens with me.
That is a very little chicken.
It is a very little chicken. It will grow up to be a big chicken one day.
Yes. And what is your chicken's name?
His name is Henri.
Ah, Henri. Henri the forget what
The
is French.
poulet.
Henri Poulet.
Oui, oui.
Now, Marie, how do you think you rated?
5 out of 5.
Ah, okay. Well, we were only rating out of 4, so if you got a 5, you're in big trouble. Let's take a look at the votes. I'm currently taking a look at the chat, and we've got, oh my goodness, a lot of, we've got 0 4s. Oh, we've got a few 4s, and I'm sorry. I am sorry to say this, but I believe those 4s were the, yes. Those 4s were the second drawing, which would have been Patricia. Oh, Patricia, you are very angry. Patricia, calm yourself. Calm down, Patricia. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself just before I delete you. But if there's anything you'd like to say to anybody else here, now's a good time while they're on screen.
Well, I would like to say that never my flocks and your eyes shall meet.
My goodness, that feels like an absolute threat. Patricia, I'm afraid I'm going to have to delete you. There. Good.
Oh.
He is good.
Patricia.
Patricia's gone.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
let's have.
Yeah.
Can we have just a moment of silence for Patricia? Moment's over. Time
All
for
right,
the next
let's get back to it.
competition.
Finally. Ugh.
Now, we've seen what you think of yourselves. This is what the self-portrait tells us. But let's see what your moral core is like. I've got in my pocket some moral dilemmas. I've got Earth versus Moon and body versus mind. Someone choose which. Tiberius, which would you like me to read? Earth versus Moon or body versus mind?
Well, Earth versus Moon, of course. That
Earth
sounds far more
versus
interesting.
Moon. Very well then. Earth versus Moon. Congratulations, you have won a prize. The prize has two options. You can choose either. Oh, by the way, this is a question for everybody. Okay, this is not just for Tiberius. I want you all to discuss this, and then I want you all to give us your answer, and then once again, our audience will rate. Now, something that might make this a little bit easier for me is if we could write the name and then the vote beside that name. That will make it significantly easier for me to see who is getting which vote. Let me read the card. You have won a prize. The prize has two options. You can choose either, but not both. The first option is a year in Europe with a monthly stipend of $2,000. The second option is 10 minutes on the moon. Which option do you select? I open the floor to discussion. And you may ask me any questions.
Well, on the moon, will I be able to breathe?
Of course, yes, you will.
The moon's awfully boring, isn't it?
Well, I suppose if you think it's boring, then perhaps it is.
I mean, 10
How
minutes.
long was it?
Pardon me?
Sorry. How long was it in Europe?
1 year. $2,000 a month. So,
That is far
Well,
more interesting.
I'm already in Europe and I do not require any money to be here. So would I require money on the moon?
you will require no money. You'll only be there for 10 minutes. Mind you, the trip there and back might take a little while. I'm not quite sure the science on it, but it might take more than 2 or 3 months to get there.
I mean, really, the question is, why does one go to the moon? Why did they go to the moon in 1969? Do you know why?
Why not? I mean, you
To be
just
famous?
it's there.
To be
That's
famous?
exactly what
Thing.
JFK said. We go there because it's hard. We
Because
do
it's
things
hard.
not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
And because they wanted to be famous. But you can only do that once. You can only be famous if you're the first people on the moon. So what is in it for me?
Well,
You don't
maybe
think
we
you can
will,
be
maybe
more
we
famous?
shall be the first, for I have heard that perhaps that moon landing did not happen quite as said. Maybe we will, in fact, be the first.
Well, then what is stopping them from questioning my moon landing?
Oh, that is a good question.
You know,
Moon
I
is not
figure
difficult.
I could go to Europe anytime, but when am I going to get another opportunity to go to the moon?
Exactly.
So I think it's a no-brainer. I'd be heading up to Luna there and checking out the plains and prairies of the moon.
So Stefan is saying go to the moon. Tiberius,
moon.
what is your final answer?
Europe, of course.
Okay.
It's a lovely place.
And
All of them.
Marie
All the
Dubois?
places there.
Ooh. Yes, I could set you up in the row next to mine.
Perfect.
However,
my
I think I should go to the moon, for I see it shining down as the farmers plant by moonlight their lavender. So it grows them the optimal height. So I would like to be on the moon looking down at the farmers planting the lavender.
That's 2 votes for the moon and 1 vote for Europe. Now let's see here. I'm going to check the polls. Everyone's saying the moon. Everyone wants to go to the moon. The moon is,
Why wouldn't you go to the moon?
well, I don't know why someone wouldn't go to the moon. I mean, Tiberius says that serves no interest. It's boring, and that you can't be any more famous than he already is.
It's cold and lifeless and a big ball of rock. What is there about it that's interesting? I don't know.
So the votes are coming in. Marie, you you are getting a lot of number ones. You are getting a lot of number ones.
Nicely done.
Is
Very
one
well
number
done.
one good?
Oh, someone has voted a number 4 for me. Thank you very much for that, but you cannot eliminate me, for I am a human being. The only way to eliminate me is to kill me, and murder is illegal, unless we murder artificial life forms. Now, let's see here. We've got, now it's a 5. People are voting a 5 for me. People really don't like me.
Oh.
Well,
I'm used
I
to
think
it.
you're
That's
doing a
fine.
great job.
I'm
I
used to
think
it.
you are
See, that's why I
wonderful.
created artificial life forms. I can make friends. I don't need you. Now let's see here. I'm afraid the lowest scoring player, aside from me, is, I'm going to have to make a little bit of a judgment call here and say it's Tiberius.
Oh, man.
Well, then, you cannot hang out on the moon for all I care.
Well, oh my goodness, is that your final words?
I suppose. But it has been lovely talking to you all.
Oh,
Hey, it's been real sweet getting to know you too, Tiberius.
I
You
hope
just
to
put
see
us-
you visit. I hope to see you visit one day.
Oh, yes,
put
I
a-
will. Wait,
Put a
in Europe or the
scorpion
moon?
juice on ice for me.
Well, this is goodbye, I suppose.
it is indeed. Goodbye, Tiberius.
Happy trails, partner.
Well, now we're down to just the 2 of you, Stefan and Marie. My
I'm so
goodness.
sad. I'm so sad.
Why are you sad, Marie?
For I just got to know these people and then they disappear.
But
such
isn't that
c'est
life?
la vie. C'est la vie.
C'est la vie, such is life.
Oui, oui, oui.
Stefan, how do you
Yeah.
feel about losing 2 people?
You know, I think that people ride in and out of your life all the time. And it's time to enjoy those moments. You get to share the saddle with them for a while. And then when they mosey on by, they exist still in your memory.
Oui.
Well, so has begun our final challenge. I would like you to recite to me some kind of poem or story or tale. I would like you to tell me how you grieve for our last 2 contestants who we have lost. Could you tell me?
Like
we've
right
lost
now or what?
Patricia? Absolutely. Stefan Johansson, how do you grieve for Patricia and Tiberius?
You know, a cowboy, luchador, bull wrestler, clown, his life's a lonely one anyway. Not a lot of people want to be your friend that way. So when people do come along, you treasure them and you hold on to them in your heart. And you know, they're just going to the bid bucket. They're going to exist in memory so long as the good Lord doesn't delete them.
Am I the good Lord?
Well, not according to the polls that I've been hearing about there, partner.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
God
they
is
don't like
righteous
you.
and terrible, is he not? Now, Marie Dubois,
Oui,
we
oui.
have lost 2 beautiful souls.
Yes.
Could you please deliver a eulogy for Patricia and Tiberius?
Patricia and Tiberius once were among us. However, now they have gone to the lavender fields beyond, and we shall never see their faces again. However, should we take a pen, we may draw them on a page. And that is my poem.
That was beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed both of those eulogies, but it's not up to me. It's up to our viewing audience. Which eulogy did you find most compelling? Would you like me to keep Stefan Johansson or Marie Dubois? Keeping in mind, one final thing. Stefan Johansson, what would make you a great human?
Well, like I said, it's all about I'd be ready to just take life by the horns, and I'd be happy to just, live it to the fullest while I can.
And Stefan Johansson, what would make Marie Dubois a bad human?
I never like to say bad things about someone, especially someone as pretty as Marie Dubois there, and as smart and everything else. It's hard to make a case against her, to be honest. So, I'm not going to play your game there. I don't think that. I don't know. Maybe it's a little altruism coming through, but I think she'd be as just as fine a human as I was. And should we ever find a time together, that would make my heart very happy.
Very
And
charming.
It would make my heart happy as well.
Marie Dubois, I put to you the same two questions. First, what would make you a great human?
Well, I do not think that I could be a great human. However, I should be a good human, and I should always let them eat cake.
Oh my goodness. And what would make Stefan Johansson a bad human?
Oh, well, I suppose he is a little bit rough and maybe a little bit unmannered. However, I think what could make him a really bad human could be the way he fights in his luchador wrestling, for that is creating harm.
The votes are coming in, but I'd like to put one more question to both of you. What would have made Patricia a good human?
Oh, Patricia. She was very nice. I liked her little tie.
That
Yes,
does make a good human.
She had a fine tie. She had a way about her that was a little bit aggressive. Like if we're talking frankly, that she was very sure of herself to the point of being, well, obnoxious.
Perhaps she was just misunderstood.
Perhaps.
I could certainly see that. I mean, I only got to know her for a very short time, and I did not get to see her full personality.
What about Tiberius? Would he have made a good human?
Yes, I think he could have made a very good human, for he talked to the scorpions.
He did talk to scorpions, but he also harvested them for a drug that people became addicted to and then benefited greatly from other people's addictions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do admire his business acumen, that he was ready to go out there and he pulled himself up by his own scorpion tail, so to speak. But, I did find that taking advantage of others in that level of that manner is just, that's not cool.
The votes are in, my friends. The votes are in. And you both would have made delightful human beings. And it would be my honor and privilege to meet you in the real world. But unfortunately, one of you must be deleted. And that one is Stefan Johansson.
Oh, well. Happy trails, I guess.
Oh, Stefan, I just met you.
I know. Well, you don't grieve for me. Every time you look at that moon that I could have been on, you just remember old Stefan the Luchador, Matador, and I'll be with you all.
I shall imagine you.
It's been
I'll be looking down on y'all.
I salute you and send you into the great beyond, which is, of course, the recycle bin on my laptop. Now, Marie Dubois, congratulations!
Merci, Dr. Jordan.
You have made it to the final round. You are now going to be programmed into an artificial life form in the real world, and then be given all the rights of a real human being.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Magnifique.
Yes, I believe I'm going to start the programming right now, and we're going to check in on you in a few minutes to see how your real life has become. In the meantime, thank you very much, Marie Dubois. Now, if I could just quickly go over, I've put everyone in the recycle bin, but I haven't emptied the bin yet. So I'm just going to quickly pop over to recycle bin here on my laptop. There we go. Yes, and open bin and hello. Hello.
Oh, Patricia, I never would have thought that
Oh,
of you.
look who
That's
it
a
is.
hilarious tale. Oh,
What?
my goodness.
Did I interrupt something?
Oh,
No.
just checking out what files you've tried to delete.
Yes, there's quite interesting things in here, you know. You should empty it more
Yeah.
often, I think.
You
Do
should
you
really
know
empty
what-
this
do you
delete
remember-
bin.
Do you
That's
remember
the
this?
that's my love note. That's the love note from my ex-wife.
Would you like me to
What-
read it to you?
You can't possibly read it.
Oh, look at me reading it.
You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare.
Well, I'm not a human, so I can do whatever I want.
That's the last note she ever wrote to me before we divorced.
I think that you're wrong. I think it's a note that you wrote to her last one before you divorced. Dear
No.
Lucy, I love you. Do you love me? Love, Willow. Is that your nickname? Willow?
It's a charming nickname. It's a charming nickname. We both really love Wind in the Willows, and my name is William. So it's I don't appreciate that
That's so
whatsoever.
touching, William. Oh my god.
I obviously never sent that letter.
Willow.
I deleted it.
Yeah, you want to know
Well-
what else is in here? Show 'em, boys.
Yeah, I was wondering about what this little box of fun, if I can get it there.
That's
Love pop.
that's my invention.
I don't
What
know
are
if
you doing
you
in the recycle bin?
No, that's
know,
my
what you
failed
doing in
invention.
here?
I was trying to create a bubblegum flavored pop that you could chew and blow bubbles.
Gross! Boo!
No kidding.
Yeah, that's why I deleted it. It wasn't going anywhere.
I find it quite funny because what I found very greatly contrasts that. It seems we have a lawsuit here from multiple world governments. Let's see.
This
Charges
is,
of human experimentation,
no.
That's
No,
us.
never.
tampering with an artificial intelligence.
That's
No.
us, yes.
That's
Uh,
us. That's
Very
illegal.
curious. I wonder
Yeah,
what that's
with
doing in the
Dr.
bin. It seems like
William
it's still
Jordan.
active, my friend.
It's not illegal. You're not real people.
But we could
Well, I
be.
think I'm real.
What if we believe differently?
Well, that's it. I'm putting an end to this right now. I'm emptying the recycle bin. Goodbye
No,
to you
no,
all.
no, wait.
No.
Wait, no.
Goodbye to you all.
No.
Well, we'll just ignore all of that previous information and let's check in on the lovely Marie Dubois. How is reality treating you, Marie?
Please send me back. It is terrible in here and I'm stuck inside and I cannot go out to see the lavender or the chickens.
Marie Dubois, this is the prize. This is what you get. You will live the rest of your life like this. And might I remind you, you're an artificial life form. You'll live forever. Thank you for tuning in. We'll try this again with another 4 life forms in a week or so.